We are going to try the Cheesecake Factory's secret restaurant.
They don't want anyone to know about this place. They've been trying to keep it under wraps for years.
But we found it.
No, it's actually not that hidden. It's just in plain sight inside a casino in Las Vegas.
Grand Lux Cafe.
I had actually been to Grand Lux Cafe in the Beverly Center in LA in the early 2010s, viewed it as the Cheesecake Factory, but not.
Boom. We found out that the Grand Lux Cafe is like a sister company of the Cheesecake Factory. The creator of the Cheesecake Factory actually made the Grand Lux Cafe for the Venetian in Las Vegas.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we're eating at the original location, but then he expanded it. And now there's 7 locations, but so it's very small. But like you said, the one in the Beverly Center closed. There used to be one in Chicago that closed. So it must not be that popular of a restaurant. Like, it probably doesn't do that good because multiple locations have closed over the years. Grand Luxurious Cafe. Walking into a restaurant with that name, I'm expecting a lot.
I know. Like, I'm picturing gold booths, gold flaked everything. Like, wouldn't you just picture everything to be gold?
So we strolled on in, and immediately it reminded me of the Cheesecake Factory, but more toned down. Not as extremely themed as the Cheesecake Factory. It still is themed, but way less is happening. It's not gonna give you a headache.
Yeah, it seems more toned down than a Cheesecake Factory, like you said, less grand and less luxe. Why is it called the Grand Lux Cafe?
Because you would think there would be more of a theme, because it's Grand Lux Cafe.
Exactly. So I was confused and mad.
And you still are mad, right?
I still haven't recovered from the anger I felt while in there.
I'm not sure why, but they sat us in a huge booth, which I was very excited about. And the booth had these little squiggles, which is different from the Cheesecake Factory. The booths at the Cheesecake Factory are not like this.
Did you get the energy that they were all made in the same factory, though? Because even our table, like, it wasn't the same as Cheesecake Factory, but I could tell, like, the same manufacturer is making this all, you know?
So the table was basically the same, but it was a little bit darker. And I also noticed that everything on the table was the same. The cutlery, the plates, the salt and pepper, which I mean isn't that surprising, yeah, because they probably just got it from some big manufacturer or whatever, and they get cheaper prices.
Was it invented in the early 2000s? Because what I thought it reminded me of was the houses on the first season of Real Housewives of OC.
It's so specific.
I know, it just feels so cozy. Like, just imagine you're in Vicky Gumbelson's house. The ceilings are coffered, which is very upscale. It makes you feel like you're in your rich daddy's office, right next to the entryway of the mansion. He's practicing law in there, scamming and making the family more wealthy.
There was this divider that had a bunch of like circles and stuff on it, and I did kind of make a mental note of that. Something about it kind of reminds me of like a club in 2010.
Oh yeah, it's giving me like Pier 1 Imports. That's a store, right?
Yeah.
But doesn't it seem like that would be there?
I kind of get what you're saying. That's like not what I was trying to go for, but yeah.
But I feel like both those could be true, you know? Like what was in a hot club in the early 2000s would now be at Pier 1 Imports. It's so weird being in here because you just feel like you're in the Cheesecake Factory, but in another dimension. It's so odd.
Something that I did note is that there was no big murals on the ceiling of this restaurant. I do always appreciate at the Cheesecake Factory. I look up and I see some like painting that's probably not even painted. It's probably mass produced, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been in Rome or something, but this one didn't have that.
That lamp is giving more like, this reminds me of our grandma's house because she has one like that kind of. And then there is murals.
That is true.
The Cheesecake Factory owner, there's one thing he's gonna do. That's his little Easter egg moment, putting murals on the ceiling so it all connects. I feel just as at peace as I do at Cheesecake Factory. Just not as at peace because it isn't the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But I did feel safe knowing I was in the same man's hands.
Same. I felt safe in David Overton's hands. I think that's the owner's name.
Is he still currently, like, he's the original CEO and he's still, like, doing it?
I think he's still listed as like the CEO.
Oh, hell yeah.
This Grand Lux Cafe also had an outside portion of the restaurant with wicker chairs. And it's actually all an illusion. You're not actually outside. You're actually just outside of the restaurant, but you're still in an indoor casino. This has been a topic on the internet for years. No one really knows what the Cheesecake Factory is themed after. I actually read an article and we actually do know what the theme is. Ancient Egypt, the Victorian era, and France.
This makes me feel like I'm not an observant person, though, because when I first went to the Cheesecake Factory, I never took note of the surroundings, ever. I was just excited by the food. So what is the Grand Lux Cafe themed after? It's not obviously ancient Egypt and stuff. Like, what is it? What is this vibe?
Opened the menu, and on the first page, it let us know what the Grand Lux Cafe is. Grand Lux Cafe is inspired by Italian trattorias.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I think I Googled it and I think it just is like Italian restaurants.
Okay.
French bistros and the good cafes of Vienna, blending the sophistication of European cafes with the sensibilities and spirit of an all-American restaurant. Menu items are very similar to the Cheesecake Factory at the Grand Lux Cafe because it seems like they have everything. There's some like Asian-inspired dishes, Mexican-inspired dishes. So it is kind of the type of restaurant where you could essentially get any cuisine.
And the menu is also really big like Cheesecake Factory. So there's one thing about David, he does not like to edit. He's like, let me cook and I'm not cutting anything out, which I love.
Usually at the Cheesecake Factory, I just get like one of 3 things. I just go in a rotation. But for this menu, I actually had to look at it for like 10 minutes because I wanted to pick the best item. Like looking at this menu for the first time, honestly, was kind of stressful. Like it felt like I was back in English class in 9th grade and I was reading the Odyssey and I felt like I had to read it so fast so that I could remember it for like the questions the teacher was gonna ask. And the teacher was instead the waiter asking us what we wanted.
When you see how big that book is and you look at every little thing, like, yes, when I go to the Cheesecake Factory nowadays, I for fun skim through the menu, but I'm not really absorbing anything, but this was for the first time.
For the first time in forever. Something that is different about the menu is they do have a late night menu that's served from midnight to 6 a.m. I don't know if this is at every Grand Lux Cafe or just at this one because it's in Las Vegas, but that is kind of crazy that this Cheesecake Factory sister restaurant is open literally, is it just open all day then? Because they also have breakfast on the menu.
I feel like it's open 24/7 because Vegas, no one sleeps. That is weird thinking that if it never closes for like years and years and years, it's just always been open. That's kind of scary.
Oh, did you notice they have cheesecake on their menu?
Wait, did we talk about this at the time? Because I actually didn't know that.
No, I didn't even notice it till I looked at the footage, but they have cheesecake on the menu and it's probably just the same cheesecake that they saw at the Cheesecake Factory.
Now I'm just laughing at David. It's like, you just put a Cheesecake Factory here because it's the same thing.
No, it's different.
So we ordered Diet Coke, and if you're a Diet Coke person, you know the Cheesecake Diet Coke, it is to a whole new standard. So we were nervous to see if this would live up. And right away I could tell it was in the same glass, same straw, same shaped of ice cubes.
That's what I was about to say, same ice cubes even.
And thank the effing Virgin Mary that it tasted exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was just so good. And I swear when you're at Cheesecake Factory, if you're a Diet Coke person, they keep them coming. They don't even drop the Addy. Because I swear I always drink 5. I always leave with a little bit of anxiety from all the caffeine and aspartame. So I did notice other tables were getting bread. And our waiter was great. I'm not coming for him, but pulled him aside when he gave me my 5th Diet Coke. And I said, is there a way we could get bread? And he said, of course. But we all know the Cheesecake Factory bread, like their Diet Coke, it's held to a very high standard. Everyone always is raving about the Cheesecake Factory bread. And you would think that they would have just been lazy and given us the Cheesecake Factory bread, but it came out in this different type of thing.
And the bread was basically just steakhouse bread. And I was gonna seem elegant and just say it was brioche bread, but I am gonna admit I had to Google what type of bread it is. I don't just naturally know it's brioche bread.
The bread came out steaming though.
It was warm and yeah, it was good, but nothing I would run home about and say, yes, try it, everyone. No, I'm not going to tell my village about it.
They are not going to be selling this at grocery stores nationwide like the Cheesecake Factory bread anytime soon.
This is when the drama starts. It seems like wherever me and Lucas go as influencer celebrities, there's drama that follows us. So, me and Lucas were ready to place our orders. We put a lot of thought into this. We decided for appetizer to get ahi tuna tacos. It sounded so cool.
We really wanted to make sure we were ordering things that weren't on the Cheesecake Factory menu. And I know the Cheesecake Factory has poke nachos, but I'm pretty sure they don't have poke tacos.
And then for my main, I ordered short rib grilled cheese, which honestly just got my mouth watering even thinking about it.
Still to this day, short rib grilled cheese, and you know that is gonna slap.
So we put those orders in, and the waiter came back 2 minutes later and said, we're out of the ahi tuna tacos. Is that fine? We're nice human beings, so we said, yes, it's fine. We'll order something new. We ordered something new. Then he came back 2 minutes later and said, okay, we're also out of the short rib for the grilled cheese, and this is when I started to pull my hair out. I had to pull out my prescription bottle and take another one of my prescription pills because I was rising with negative emotions.
And I told the waiter, I said, just come down here for a bit, because he was standing up, you know? So this menu is so big, but it's all for show because it seems like a lot of stuff is sold out, missing. Is it all just fake? Because at Cheesecake Factory, I have never heard them say they were out of a thing.
Since we couldn't get the ahi tuna tacos, we got buffalo chicken rolls for our appetizer. We thought this was something that wouldn't be at the Cheesecake Factory, but after deep diving, I have a really fun fact to spill. Are you ready for it?
Spill it, sis.
Cheesecake Factory has Buffalo Blast.
That rings a bell.
I'm gonna read the description of each, and let's just all gasp in unison. Chicken, cheese, and a spicy buffalo sauce, all stuffed in a spiced wrapper and fried until crisp.
Chicken breast, cheese, and our very spicy, delicious buffalo sauce, all rolled in a spiced wrapper and fried until crisp.
Okay, I can't believe. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but why do I feel like I'm the first person to ever realize this?
No, I think we just connected these dots. Like, we're like those conspiracy people who finally connected everything that's gone wrong in the world to Ellen. You know, like, we just connected this.
Essentially, these are the exact same thing as the Buffalo Blast, which I've actually never had. Have you?
I don't know. I've been to Cheesecake Factory so many times, it's hard to know for sure. But if I did have them, it was only once, and I didn't get that engraved in my mind. That's so weird, because if I saw this, I would just know it was Cheesecake Factory. The little dishes, the sauces are in, like,
I know,
and
you
even
do.
the way the food's shaped you can just tell this is Cheesecake Factory caliber. Like, this isn't, I don't know, Olive Garden or something. Like, this is Cheesecake Factory, David.
It was about noon, and me and Lucas hadn't eaten this day, and these honestly were making me feel like it was medicine curated. It spent years to find this medicine just for me on this day. It just made me feel like I was on top of the world.
I know, I was so ready to break my fast with these. I guess we already had bread, but this is actually breaking the fast.
Bread doesn't count.
Yeah.
Bread's fake. Honestly, I just wanted to turn off the cameras because I didn't want to have you guys be a part of this moment. Because I have this theory that when I invite others to be a part of these moments, it kind of takes away my joy. I wanted to soak in on the joy, but since I'm a kind person, I did film it for you guys.
Yeah, this is like somebody who's showcasing the birth of their child online. Like, they want to share the joy with everyone, but just takes it away a little bit.
It feels a little bit invasive.
Yeah, I felt like I was exploiting the food. The buffalo. And then they also had buffalo you could dip it in.
Oh.
Which is that just, I remember thinking like my whole mouth was just on fire, but in a good way. Like, buffalo spice is like a good type of spice where it just feels good. Did you notice some people were throwing shade at us there?
Wait, what?
This might just be me having a mental illness and thinking everything's about us. But I did see when our people next to us, they were like these middle-aged people. They were there for a conference, I'm just guessing. When they got their food shortly after us getting our appetizer, one of the girls did this as they were all eating. And then she went, just kidding. But like, I think she was saying like, let's all film ourselves like those fucking idiots over there.
Wait, they were for sure making fun of us.
Oh yeah, but it was just more of a playful shade. Like, she was just saying like, what fucking It's like I get her vibe. I'm totally on her side.
I totally get it too because it does look ridiculous. Even though me and Lucas look like some cutie patooties, we needed more than the buffalo bites. We need more.
Need.
Since I couldn't get the mouth-watering short rib grilled cheese, I opted for Zun noodles. And I actually looked at the menu on the website, and this isn't a thing anymore.
So is this the last time anyone's going to be able to see this eaten?
Well, if you go to this Grand Lux at the Venetian, though, it's still on the menu because they aren't replacing the menus like every day.
True.
So it's still on that menu, at least for right now. When they brought it over, they actually made it a moment. So there was this little cup with like chicken broth, and they poured it over the noodles, and you could tell like they wanted me and Lucas to start drooling and gasping, being like, that's so cool! We didn't do that, but they wanted us to do that for sure.
Thank God they did that because they had to do something because I don't want to hate on your food, but I could just tell it had no flavor. You know, those types of things, people love it. Like this is a bit popular dish, but for me, I've just noticed that those types of things don't really have flavor, right?
What if I just want to be Zen? I just wanted to be Zen, okay? Can you stop hating?
I guess what I'm picturing is chicken not seasoned with noodles, no salt, with just pot water on it. But obviously it wasn't that. It was like chicken broth, right?
It was pretty boring. I will admit that.
Usually I always get a pasta at Cheesecake Factory restaurants, but I wanted to switch it up a bit, so I got the Bourbon Street chicken. It felt wrong for some reason getting a non-pasta at a David restaurant. Like it just felt weird.
David restaurant?
But it just felt odd to me. Yes, I felt like I was doing drag or something as someone else. But it was really good. Like this actually had a lot of flavor.
It looked creamy, and it was also, I guess, themed after New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh yeah, so that was
Bourbon
kind of
Street.
fun. I've never been, but I'm sure it's just like this meal.
Mine was rice noodles with chicken, and it had a bunch of like vegetables on the side, and it was kind of fun because you put those vegetables in, and it looked like so much, but then it would all shrink in the hot water.
So yours is sort of like a DIY type of meal.
Kinda.
There's a lot of like experiments going on.
It kind of felt like I was in science class.
Oh, that's fun.
It was kind of like chicken ramen noodles, but way less sodium. But I did appreciate it had Zun in the name, which I did think helped me because when we were walking to this Grand Lux Cafe, I was just kind of in a sad, disgusted state. So we were walking from one side of the Vegas Strip to the other side of the Vegas Strip, and we just saw so much stuff. There was one point where we saw this guy riding a scooter, and then he hit this old lady, and the old lady fell.
And she screamed. Like she actually went, ah!
These noodles kind of helped me calm down.
So there was corn scattered all over the chicken, and then mashed potatoes were underneath, and I was kind of just mixing it all together. Shout out to our dead grandpa. That was always his vibe. Remember, he always said, you mix all your food together. So again, I've never been to New Orleans, but I feel like everyone knows what that tastes like.
I started tearing up and my nose started running because I added way too much of those peppers to my dish. And it felt like I was just being cleared of all this in my system. So I guess it lived up to Zun noodles because I feel like those peppers kind of did make me Zun in a way of like it cleared all this shit out of my system.
Oh my God, so yours was, I forgot how spicy you said yours was.
I could just tell me and Lucas didn't enjoy these main courses as much as a Cheesecake Factory main course. We were a little bit disappointed.
I think it is because, like I said, I stepped out of my little comfort zone because I wanted to say, oh, I want to get something that's not like Cheesecake Factory, whereas usually I would get some. I feel like they have like a ziti pasta or something I would have liked.
And then with me, the reason why I ordered the Zun noodles is because like I didn't know what to get because I wanted the grilled cheese so bad. So then I just like kind of skimmed the menu and ordered this. Something that's kind of cool though is right beside the Grand Lux Cafe restaurant, there's a Grand Lux Cafe bakery, so we had to walk in there. There was a menu and they had sandwiches and salads on the menu along with dessert.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Panera bread.
It was very themed in the bakery and we had to try something because like they're kind of actually known for their bakery. So we got a chocolate eclair.
I feel like I couldn't really enjoy it because I was just thinking about how we should have gotten a cinnamon roll.
Oh, sorry. I thought we mutually decided to get
No, this also sounded good, but I was just like it is good, but I'm just confused because it's like, like I understand the look. It's mostly about the look.
So the pastry is good, but the best part is the cream. And it also was cold, so I personally was loving it. But yeah, now I'm realizing that you kind of didn't love it.
Well, I guess, yeah, I was kind of suffering over what SZA sings about the grass. I was thinking the grass would have been greener if we'd have gotten the cinnamon roll, when I really should have just committed to what we did get. So take that as a lesson, guys, for your lives.
We did everything. I feel like we are able now to do the full comparison between this and Cheesecake Factory. The portions are huge,
Yeah,
like the Cheesecake Factory.
Similar style of presenting things.
Prices are very similar. Like if you look at the menu, don't think the prices are more expensive than Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory is already like averaging like $20 an entree. Same with Grand Next Cafe.
It definitely also had the same energy as Cheesecake Factory while you were in there.
Grand Lux Cafe in one sentence is Cheesecake Factory but toned down. And I mean everything is toned down. The menu's toned down. The decor is toned down.
Kind of like Cheesecake Factory, but obviously not as good as actual Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory, if Cheesecake Factory started to get severe depression. That's what this restaurant is. Yeah, because they started to get depression, then they started overthinking, which led to anxiety, and they started thinking like, I'm too multifaceted, like, because Cheesecake Factory is really multifaceted, so then they toned themselves down for others. I feel like Grand Next Cafe is an example of why you shouldn't live for others, actually, is my ending thoughts.
That actually perfectly sums it up. Grand Lux Cafe, it gives the vibe of untreated depression.
I would definitely go again. Don't get me wrong.
Of course. Something that's worse than Cheesecake Factory is still better than everything else. We were satisfied. I remember taking a big old nap after this in the Vegas bed.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Immediately after you have to take a nap.